Okay, everybody, here we go. It's me, Gregory Mannarino, Sunday, October 29th, 2023, and this is my markets that look ahead. It's going to be freaking lovely. People, look, I want to discuss a lot of things here with you. I want to cover the markets, obviously, where they're going, what the market is pricing in, at least right now, and what we just heard out of, from President Trump over the weekend with regard to this war, this new war, this Israel, Hamas, whatever the freak this thing is here. Let's start off with that. I want to read these comments to you. Very, very powerful, very, very strong comments out of President Trump's, his mouth, obviously. Here we go. So over the weekend, President Trump made several very strong comments regarding this new Israeli war. He stated, "When I am back in the White House, the United States will stand with Israel all the way, without hesitation, without qualification, without apology. We will fully support the Israelis in their mission to ensure that Hamas is decimated and the atrocities committed by Hamas will be avenged. They will be avenged." He went on to say, "If you spill one drop of American blood, we will spill a gallon of yours." Let me just say this, people. These comments right here, okay, are obviously very positive for the stock market. I'm going to say war is positive for the stock market. War is positive for energy. The more people that die, the higher U.S. GDP is going to go. I would not be surprised. I'm going to tell you right here and now. I would not be surprised if these comments by President Trump don't push this stock market higher probably tomorrow. Okay, being Monday. This is exactly what the stock market wants to hear. The stock market wants to hear about more war, more death, more pain, more suffering. And of course, I mean, when any president, the current thing behind the Resolute desk, or if President Trump makes his way back behind the Resolute desk here, okay, this is exactly what the market wants to hear. And let me just say this too. With regard to the market, let's step back a moment here. A lot of people are wondering why it is that this stock market has held up so well. It really has. I mean, yes, indeed, this market has fallen under a lot of pressure with now the S&P 500, the NASDAQ in correction again, since risk in this market has gone pretty much wild. I mean, look, I'm laughing, but it's incredible to see. We are in... this is history being made, okay? The bond market is selling off. We've never seen this before in history. This has never been seen before. A historic sell-off like this. It's getting very little attention on the mainstream media because you can't know that, okay? If people would said, hold on a minute, why is the debt market selling off like this? Maybe they would understand that there is a serious underlying problem here. And most people have no idea, and I know you do, that the stock market is a derivative of the debt market. So is housing. And as a matter of fact, everything derives value from action in the debt market. We also know, you and me, that 5% on the 10-year yield seems to be the first line in the sand. But every time we hit 5%, as of late, a miracle happens. A freaking miracle. All of a sudden, some mysterious entity with enormous amounts of firepower gets in here and starts buying the debt, pushes the 10-year yield down, and the stock market goes higher. We've seen this multiple times so far. Is it going to happen again? Maybe. But these comments here by President Trump may be enough to push this market higher by causing yields to become suppressed, at least for a little while. Look, the market is banking on Donald Trump, again, re-entering the White House. You do realize that that's why this market has held up so well, in my view. Let me go on to say this, all right. The market wants Donald Trump, period. It should be quite obvious. If the market does not get Donald Trump, this market's going to hate life. I'm telling you right here and right freaking now, this market is going to take a hit, and it could be big. Unless they get, I don't know. I'll tell you the truth. That's what the market's pricing in. Donald Trump sitting behind the Resolute desk would be hugely positive for the stock market. Again, what would he do? Not only, he's told us what he's going to do right here. Okay. There's going to be, well, more death, more pain, more suffering on a biblical level. I mean, these comments are, well, extremely powerful. That's the truth. And it might be enough to boost the market this week. I'm telling you, because the market, at least for tomorrow, we'll see how this plays out. The market is banking on this. The market is banking on Donald Trump. The market, now that the market has heard this out of President Trump's mouth, I want to see how the market's going to react to this. I don't know about you, but I am very, very curious to see what happens. More specific, forget about the stock market, okay? I want to see the reaction to the debt market. Is what Donald Trump said over the weekend here, is this enough to drive some cash into the debt market and boost stocks? I'll tell you something else you got to look at. You're gonna have to look at the dollar on a relative strength basis, the Dixie. That's going to be a big tell as to how the market is digesting what Donald Trump said. So you want to look for a couple things here. You do not want to see a knee-jerk into the dollar here, all right, as we're looking ahead towards the next week after these comments here. If we see a knee-jerk higher into the dollar, in other words, you see the relative strength of the dollar climb, that's fear, okay? The market, after these comments, I would expect to see the Dixie fall. I would expect to see the 10-year yield at least stabilize here, okay? I would expect to see the MMRI probably drop, okay? And as I said, the market has held up as well as it has in the face of a historic sell-off in the debt market because it's banking on Donald Trump, period, end. If the market doesn't get Donald Trump, the market's going to hate it. So we'll see. We'll see how this whole thing plays out. As you know my take on this. We're in a presidential selection cycle, period, the end. And we'll see what they do moving forward with regard to that. Now let's talk about a few other things. I think that is pretty profound. It's pretty important here. Oh, and if you want a copy of this, it's in your inbox. If you subscribe to my free newsletter, go check it. Anyway, with that said, this war over there is getting bigger. It's expanding. More people are dying. This is obviously positive for U.S. GDP. You have to understand a couple of other things here. We're watching defense stocks here really getting bid up. And these comments by Donald Trump are going to put a fire underneath defense stocks. Energy, I believe, as well, will benefit from these comments. So look, this is no surprise to anybody who follows this blog. War is the goal of government. War is the goal. War is not, the inevitable outcome of a failing economy. Okay, a failing economy drives us into war. War is always the goal. War is the goal. Every nation, any nation here, how it exerts its power on the world is via its ability to wage war. You understand? I hope you do. I really do. Many people have a distorted view on this, on not understanding how war. Just look at history. You can see how war affects the market. War is positive for the market. Things like this are positive for the market, especially when you have a stock market that wants Donald Trump back. I'm telling you right now, Donald Trump, if you recall, when I was on Greg Hunter's show, all right, a while back before President Trump's first election here, I said specifically on Greg Hunter's show that if Donald Trump were to win the presidency, okay, the stock market would rip higher. Those are my exact words. And I nailed it to the wall. The market understands how it would work. And I believe we would see a big reversal with regard to easy money policies from the Federal Reserve. Donald Trump behind the Resolute desk would absolutely assure lower rates, okay, which the market wants, a weaker dollar, which the market wants. Not good from a consumer standpoint, of course. If you remember, during President Trump's last presidency, okay, He wanted a weaker dollar and wanted rates to stay lower for longer, and the market loved it. But again, it's a weaker dollar, although it's very stock market positive, and the market would love to see that. It is not good for the consumer. It's pretty obvious here. We haven't seen anything yet, people, with regard to inflation. Little bug. Anyway, again, look, understanding the hundreds of billions of dollars that are already being funneled into this war, it's not going to stop. I told all of you, and we discussed it right here, the Ukraine war was the opening act. This was going to expand, which it has. It's going to expand much more. Funding for this war, these words are pretty powerful here. The United States will stand with Israel all the way, without hesitation, without qualification, without apology. Meaning enormous amounts of funding, weaponry for Israel. Again, a blank check. President Biden, the thing right now, the vomitous mass puke. You know what? I really don't like the man too much. Anyway, he's obviously, he's got a blank check too. Whatever he wants to send to Israel he's gonna get. President Trump just backed that up. It's going to do the same thing. Very positive for the market. Very, very positive. So I can't wait till tomorrow. I really can't wait for tomorrow. Let's see what plays out, how it plays out. Let's just see where this goes. It's just a madhouse. It's a world gone mad, but it's a world gone mad by design. Again, war is the goal, and understanding, you and I, okay, that central banks are going to inflate more so than who funds these? Where's the cash come from? It's interesting that not even Donald Trump will tell you where we're going to get the funds here to support Israel all the way, without hesitation, without qualification. We will support the Israelis in their mission to ensure Hamas is decimated. Where do we get the cash, President Trump? Maybe you want to enlighten all of us here, okay? Because I'm sure there's a lot of people who would like to know where that cash comes from. We don't have it. Okay, I would assume you're going to, obviously, it's going to come from the Federal Reserve. We all know where it comes from here. We don't have a war chest. There's no nation on earth that has a war chest. Central banks are more than happy to lend, and central banks are more than happy to fund every part of the war, both sides, every side. That's what they do. And the most disgusting part of this is that the Federal Reserve, first of all, they can lend to anyone they want to without any oversight. In fact, we're not even allowed to know who they lend to. That's a fact. Look it up for yourself. For all we know, okay, and I would believe there's a high probability in this, is the Federal Reserve is obviously funneling cash to supposed terrorist organizations, nations that have been deemed, supporters of terrorism. Yes, absolutely here. So this is the way the system works. It's twisted. It's so crazy. When you have a system where central banks can do whatever they want without any oversight at all, and I mean zero, and you don't have a presidential candidate or anybody else telling anyone the truth about where the cash comes from to fight wars and support wars and whatever else it is, what would you expect? You think this is going to end well for the people of the world? Sure. The stock market might love it. Look, this thing, but there's no connection to reality anymore. And you know this if you follow this blog here. The economy is cratering around the world by design. This is a neo-feudal system. War is the key to keeping it propped up. They're going to do that. This is what they're going to do. They need this. Okay? The military-industrial complex, the war machine needs this. And I don't know, man. I'd love to hear from you. But how many of you are surprised or shocked? Any of you? No, of course not. Because you know where this is going. This is whatever, man. I know I'm preaching to the choir here. With regard to other assets here, people, Bitcoin over 34,000, going much, much higher in my view. Gold and silver, still silver to me, the most undervalued asset in the world, on the planet, period, the end. The mechanism here to keep the markets propped up is really unbelievable to see. Watch that 5% on the 10-year yield. Let's see what happens tomorrow. I wish it was Monday right now. I want to see how these comments are going to affect the market. You have to understand, like I said earlier, the market wants Trump back. They want him behind the resolute desk. It should be obvious. That's why the market's holding up. Believe me, if the market didn't think that President Trump was going to be again behind the resolute desk, I think this market would be a lot lower right now. I really do. And they're trying to keep it propped up. Pushing cash into the debt market, expanding war, unbelievable amounts of spending, which of course is added to GDP. I told you already. The more blood and guts they splatter around this world, the more people that die, the higher U.S. GDP is going to go. And with this, the defense contractors taking off here, look, there's a lot of people getting on the bandwagon here. Me, I won't do it. I won't do it, people. I can't do it. I'm not saying anyone else shouldn't. I would not judge you if you wanted to get in on the defense contractors here. I'm not saying you should, all right? I'm just telling you that this is what's going on here. It's so obvious what's happening to the world today, and this is not going to stop. It's not going to end. This war in Israel is going to go on and on and on and expand and get larger and demand epic more amounts of cash to be funneled at it, courtesy of you and me and everybody else. Inflation is going much higher on the back. That's the biggest omission. That's, we're not allowed to know how massively inflationary this is. Think about it. Like I said, we don't have a war chest. No developed nation in the world has a war chest. The cash comes from central banks. They have to create it from nothing. And you're not being told it's just massively inflationary. Not only does it add to GDP, but it's massively inflationary. And then they're going to tell you, oh yeah, the consumer is strong. They're spending because they have no choice. Prices continue to rise. We got this inflation number last week. Oh, it came in higher. Inflation continues to rise. Oh, but people are spending more. People are spending more. It's good. No, they have no freaking choice. You and I have no choice but to spend more. You understand? It's unbelievable. But again, they think you're stupid. I know you're not stupid. You see? Anyway, that's it, people. I'm going to end this video. Love you all. If you want this again in your inbox, please subscribe to my free newsletter. I always send stuff out that's important. It's 100% free. There's a link in the description of this video. All right, people. Please get this stuff out there. Comment. I will read the comments. I promise you. Even if I don't write back, I read through the comments. Thumbs up. I need those thumbs up. They are required. Please. It gets these videos out there. It lets people see it. And I will see you in the morning. I just cannot wait to see what happens here. I really can't. But we're going to cover it. Whatever happens, it's going to be okay. You know why? Because we got each other, people. I swear to you, it's so important to me knowing that we got each other's backs no matter what. I don't care what they do, what they throw at us, who they put behind the Resolute desk, obviously, we know where this is all going here. And we are each other's strength, honestly. And anyway, I'm gonna get going. I'll see you in the morning, okay?